Hey folks, I got a new guitar. I fell in love with the Samick Jz4 LaSalle guitar, and I love this thing. It is an L5 copy all the way. Even has a solid spruce top. Now the pickup that came in this was just terrible. It was a neck mounted mini humbucker. So this was kind of like the Johnny Smith type guitar originally, where it mounts to the fingerboard. Now the Johnny Smith mini humbucker certainly sounded better than this thing. This thing sounds terrible. This old C and B pickup here. So a great guitar, horrible pickup. Kind of like Taylor with an expression system. Anyway, this is these are the pots that came in it. These little dime-sized things with soldering points on the bottom that were right onto the top of the guitar over here. So it was beginning to scratch it up. So I put CTS pots in there that have no soldering on the bottom, and they're quarter size CTS 500s, and I've got them with little rubber pads underneath them. The only thing I'm going to change from now, probably the only thing that I'll change on this guitar other than a refret someday, are these knobs. I think I'm going to put a couple of small white knobs on there. And the pickup here is a Lawler P90 staple pickup. Gibson developed the staple pickup, the staple P90, in the 1950s in order to give the P90 pickup a little more clarity in the high end, the upper frequencies. And it certainly does that. This was a common pickup on the 50s model, particularly the mid to late 50s L5s. Some of the best sounding L5s had two of these staple pickups. They're great. And there's the headstock, Greg Bennett edition. Greg Luthier there, Greg Bennett. And this one was made in Indonesia. I did a little fret leveling on it. Mostly though, they were dressed off very, very nicely and level, but I had to do a little spot leveling there, and I did that little bit of cleanup, and now they're perfectly level. And I put a set of chrome D'Addario 11s on here, but for the E and B strings, I have a 12 and I have a 16. Instead of 11 and 15, I have a 12 and a 16. And that made a difference in the tone that I was wanting to get, particularly on those plain smaller strings. Needed to be a little fatter, actually. There's the bridge, just regular Tune-O-Matic bridge, and a beautiful tailpiece. Love that. You dig it? Man, I do. I tell you. And when you hug this thing, I mean, it's like you're hugging it. When you grab this guitar, it reminds me so much of the guitar I learned to play on, which my good friend Casey Howell had loaned me when we were like 12, 13 years old. He used to let me borrow this Gibson Super 400, his 1939 Gibson Super 400 that had belonged to his dad. And he used to let me take it home and play it. And it was a blonde Super 400. It makes me think so much of that guitar. Of course, the L5, the Super 400 was based on the L5 design, which came first. So, but anyway, let's take a look here at some other appointments. There's the neck. Nice flame maple. Beautiful finish. Beautiful finish. Nice wood grain. I mean, this thing is nice, man. I mean, it's got some really nice, beautiful wood grain in it, and comes with a set of Grover tuners. So, some have been wanting me to demonstrate the tone of this guitar, which I will do next.